Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast.
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. There's all dog around this mug. I'm good.
Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, Timothy J. Jones. And yes, I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. And this is what you call a lunchtime edition of the State of the Saints podcast. This is a rapid fire episode, and I'm probably going to be doing shows like this throughout the season. Quick little episodes, probably going to be like 10 or 15 minutes, rapid fire, going to be reading your comments and just answering as many questions as I can on my lunch break. and I thought about this because, I don't really eat lunch on my lunch break. I normally kind of just do some, little side stuff that I normally do, or something that I'm interested in, probably podcast related stuff I do on my lunch break. So, thought it would be great if I can just, do a little rapid fire episode. So we're going to have little pop-up shops. Sometimes you got to pop out and show them, and do shows like this. So thank you all so much for tuning in. And also a special shout out to everybody that checked out the first episode of the Gumboot Sports podcast, the first episode of the season. And if you have not already, I ask that you subscribe to that channel. We talk a little bit about NFL teams, college football. We talked about NFL contracts and some guys that are up for big deals, and how can that play a role. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the link here, so everybody can be able to subscribe to the channel if you have not already. So let me go ahead and do that real quick as people file in, because like I said, I know it's pretty impromptu here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that link in there. If you have not subscribed, I'm asking that you do, right? I'm asking that you do. Please do that for your boy. I mean, I thought it was a pretty good episode. I thought it was pretty decent, man, straight. Man, that camera quality off the chains, man. Your boy done messed around and learned how to use that mirrorless camera. We off the chains now, man. We live, we act. But like I said, man, go ahead and put your comments in here. We're going to answer as many questions in a 10-minute span. I'm going to go ahead and start reading right now. Cartel, first person here says, let's go. Cartel, if you can email me your address, information, if you can email that to me, that'll be great. I'm going to start giving shots out in respect to the people that show up here first. All right. So Cartel, you're going to be a recipient of a gift courtesy of yours truly here on the State of the Saints podcast. And we're going to be doing that kind of randomly throughout the year. So Cartel, email me at stateofthesaints@gmail.com. Send your information to me, and we're going to go ahead and ship something out for you, man. Shouts out to you. Thank you for being first here in the comments. Jerry says, Timothy J. Jones. Yes, sir, man. Yeah, got to give the whole government, got to give a shout out to the government name, which I've been using as of late. I've just, decided to go and use my name, so, I mean, TJ is still cool, which a lot of people know me as, but, just now I'm just going by my whole name. Also, stop by and hit the like on the Gumble podcast as well. Yeah, I agree. I mentioned that. If you can go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, I'm putting a lot of energy into this podcast and trying to get it going. And if you love the State of the Saints, I think you'll love the Gumbo Pot. It's just kind of similar to the State of the Saints, but it's just a little different when it comes to just not talking exclusively about the Saints. But, we're not going to neglect the state of the Saints here. We're just going to continue to grow and elevate, and that's what it's all about here. I'm going to stroll down. Shouts out to M. Dot. Shouts out once again to Jerry. Shouts out to Cartel. Shouts out to Charlie. Shouts out to Bronx. Thank you for being here. Chris, shouts out to you. He says 100% degrees in Shreveport. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm about to make you jealous, man. I mean, it feels absolutely marvelous outside right now out here in Myrtle Beach. I mean, I took Pac-Man to the barbershop this morning, and I'm talking about, man, the wind was blowing. It felt like it was like fall out there. I'm like, in the middle of July, I'll take it. Says, dang, I'm speaking up next time I pull in here. LOL, you ship to APO addresses. Look, I ship to anybody, when we have those little pop-ups. But like I said, I just want to make sure that people get acknowledged, and the reason why I wasn't really doing that stuff is because I didn't have, I really didn't have like a really good merchandise seller. I created and designed like different things, but the quality of like the shirts and all that kind of stuff wasn't up to par. So that's why I wasn't really pushing it. But shouts out to Bonfire. They sent me a little replica of what a shirt would actually look like, if you all were to purchase it. And I got to say, man, I was extremely impressed. It was probably one of the best shirts that I've seen as far as like with design, other than my sister, who is one of the best embroiderers around. But that's neither here nor there. But Bonfire really did a really good job at doing that. So let's see. Damien says, TJ, what's up, bro? Been working a hell of a lot. Been missing a lot of your shows for a long time, but I'm always an after show boy. Well, I appreciate that, Damien. I appreciate you being an after show boy, and I appreciate everybody. Rather you watch the show live or you pull up, and honestly, I might, just give an after show shout out as well. Like, man, just make sure that you're commenting and sharing, because, I want to make sure that I'm, giving, shots out and reaching out to people. So you might be, after show boy, and I might see a comment, and I might, ask you to send your addy, to your boy, you know what I'm saying? So we can go ahead and, get that. And we got after show boy shirts that's about to come out like really, really soon. ASG shirts. So I'm just working on the design right now to make sure that that's great, but they're coming out really, really soon. Jerry says it's 94 degrees here in Gulfport, Mississippi. Yeah, I mean, look, it's hot in Mississippi. And so I kind of forgot about that when I visited my family on last week. I forgot how hot it is out there in Mississippi, man. I was like, God, dog, man. Like, as soon as you walk outside, you sweating. You looking like a preacher about to come to a close out there. But, yeah, man, it's pretty hot out there. 101 here in Carolton, Texas. That I can actually believe. I actually stayed in Carolton. I stayed in Carolton, man. Back in the day, like right off George Bush. Oh, was I on Lena Street? I think I was on. Yeah, in Carrollton. Man, it's been a minute. But I stayed in an apartment out there in Carrollton, man. I'm very familiar with that. Carrollton. I also had like a little townhome before I moved to Carrollton in Addison, man, off Beltline Road. And I used to stay like really, really close to the TGI Fridays. And this was like my young and dumb days. I used to go and it was so close. I would walk to TGI Fridays, go to the bar, have a good time, maybe, have a beer or two and, walk back. But where I stayed at, everything was there. You had the 24-hour fitness. You also had like the TGI Fridays. The Walmart was like right up the street. So, Addison, that was my spot. And then not to mention they had like the little sliding clubs that you had, nothing too big and extravagant. I think Sherlock's was one of the places out there in Addison. So I'm familiar with like, Carrollton. I stayed in Texas for 5 years. Let's see. Good morning, everyone. Mr. Jones, what is your thoughts on the opening NBA free agency? The East now has at least 3 or 4 teams to challenge the Celtics. Well, look, I think that, hearing the stuff about Klay Thompson, hearing the stuff about Chris Paul, all these different things. I mean, the Pelicans making trades. I mean, this is like really good stuff, in my opinion. Every team is trying to get better, and that's what it's all about. When you look at the Boston Celtics, they had a really good team, really good defensively. They had some really good talented players. I mean, we know about Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, who I'm actually wearing his shoes right now, man. Shouts out to Jason Tatum. He got some comfortable shoes. But anyway, they got some really good teams, and teams are only trying to get better. Dallas, they trying to, step it up a little bit. I just think that, they kind of ran into a buzzsaw. Didn't really have the bigs in order to, kind of compete with the Celtics, in my humble opinion. I mean, you got Kyrie, you got some very, very talented players out there. But at the end of the day, man, it's like, Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving only can do so much, right? You only can do so much. TJ, quick question. We all want Clint to be as good as advertised for us, but playing devil's advocate, how do we know Clint ain't just like Pete Carmichael? I mean, it's not like he was calling plays for the 49ers. Well, Brandon, that's a really good question. That's a good statement as well. Because here's the thing. I think when you have to look at Clint Kubiak, you got to kind of go to his time when he was with Minnesota. And if you look at Kirk Cousins' numbers, it was probably some of his best numbers that he put up. And not to mention Dalvin Cook was, no pun intended, cooking that season. So, I mean, it wasn't like, he doesn't have like that resume. And it wasn't like, he was doing a terrible job and he got fired. They decided to kind of, go from, that to Kevin O'Connell and stuff like that and, to kind of move on. So it wasn't like, he was bad at his job. It's just the fact that, you got a new coaching staff up in that thing and, you want to move on, and you want to do something a little bit different. And not to mention, Kevin O'Connell is a guy that kind of calls the plays. I think about Kevin O'Connell, he kind of falls into that same category when it comes to, Sean McVay's. Everybody looks for that young, innovative coach. That guy that, everybody wants, that can relate to the players. I'm just actually looking up Clint Kubiak. I'm just looking up his background here. I mean, you look at when he was with the Denver Broncos, and like I said, he was a passing game coordinator and a quarterbacks coach. Back in 2021, he was the offensive coordinator of Minnesota. In 2022, Kevin O'Connell came along, and Kevin O'Connell is the one calling the plays. So it's not like you really necessarily needed him. But if you look at Kirk Cousins' numbers, back in 2022, 2021, let's take a look at it. Let's look at Kirk Cousins' numbers back in 2022 when Clint Kubiak, I want to make sure, 2021, excuse me, in 2021 when he was the coordinator. So, I mean, he completed 66.3% of his passes. He threw for 4,221 yards, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. So there you go, Brandon. Like, like that was Kirk Cousins' stat line under Clint Kubiak as his offensive coordinator. So he has that experience. Once again, Clint Kubiak ended up leaving Minnesota because Kevin O'Connell came. So, there you go. There you have it. You know what I'm saying? So, at the end of the day, it's like one of those situations where, you got to kind of do a little bit of research to see the type of player and the type of guy that he indeed is. No Cap, No Filter says crime has been down in New Orleans. DA about to flip them number 6 weeks into the season. I have a 12-win bet with Hoodie. Loser buys, winner lunch, and winner eats on stream. Well, look, that's the reason I'm doing this right now, because because this is my lunchtime. But that ought to be interesting right there. Nice gentleman's bet. Any more news about the Saints? To be honest with you, no real news. I mean, I don't think you're going to get any news until around training camp because, everybody's on vacation, man. These guys know it's about to be the long haul and they're trying to chill with their families. They're trying to do some things, just to have a good time because they know once they get into that facility, once they get to California, they got to be locked in to at least, if you want it, you want to be locked into at least February. So You know, these guys are trying to take vacations and have a good time. So I don't expect any big news coming out of New Orleans over the next couple of weeks. TJ, the Saints announced that their practice will be Tuesday, August 20th in Tulane University and Friday, August 23rd at Caesar Superdome. Time to be announced later. Yeah, I heard about that, and I think that's something, them giving something to the fans, giving us something to everybody for, supporting the team. Of course, they have renovations going on at the facility. So it means that they won't be able to have training camp in New Orleans this season. But the good thing about it is, you get away from familiar territory and you can go out here and kind of buckle down. And that's when team camaraderie comes around because, if you're practicing in a city where you're from, I mean, you're leaving, you're going home, some guys, you got all of your things at your disposal, comfort. But I mean, when you go to a different place and everybody's staying in a dorm, everybody's staying in a hotel, like that's the time where you probably get that closeness that you need as a team because you can't just go home, right? Everybody's just around each other all the time. Now that can be a good thing, that can be a bad thing, but when you're trying to build team chemistry and definitely trying to build a new offense, that can be a good thing. TJ, what's your take on the O-line, and do you plan on getting out there for training camp for content? I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get out there for content purposes, to be honest with you. I do cover Coastal Carolina, so that's probably gonna be taking up my time around that time, just focusing on Coastal Carolina and trying to see, what's going to happen there. I mean, you got a new quarterback situation, the quarterback competition here in Conway going on. So that's probably taking up my time. But of course, I'm still going to be following what's going on, of course. But, more than likely, I won't be able to get out to any of the training camps. But shouts out to Ross, shouts out to, Rod, shouts out to all the, beat writers for the New Orleans Saints that I can call on and get information from, and also get them on the show to talk about the New Orleans Saints. So that's where those great connections come in. Clint Kubiak called plays for many as OC and Zimmer, a defensive guy, as head coach. I believe they missed the playoffs or one and done. A Viking fan at work told me about Clint Kubiak, or best chance is because we in bad division. Well, look, all I'm saying is I'm looking at them Kirk Cousins numbers, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and a 66% completion percentage, under Clint Kubiak. I mean, that's the offense that he had for only one season. I mean, let's take a look at Dalvin Cook here, because I guess you have to put an emphasis on the running game as well. So let's take a look in 2021. Okay, Dalvin Cook in 2021 with the Vikings had 249 attempts, 1,159 yards, a 4.7 yard average, 6 touchdowns. All right, and he also had 34 catches. So, I mean, everything that I'm looking at as far as him organizing his defense is looking pretty doggone good at this, from what I've seen him do in a little small sample size back in 2021. So, I mean, Kirk Cousins numbers looking good. Dalvin Cook numbers looking good. Dudes look like they were eating out there. So that's all you can ask for. Looks like I'm in enemy territory again, but I'm just being a friend, said Jay. Well, Jay, look, first off, shines up. You know what I'm saying? Got to give a special shout out to him. I know, with Coastal Carolina and stuff like that, I seen you on X. But nah, man, look, it's not enemy territory here. Like, no matter what team that you represent, we welcome you here. Everybody's up for some like friendly banter, as long as it stays, respectable and stuff like that, of course. But, it's not like one of these Saints podcasts where we just talk trash all day about the other team showing up, or you're a fan of another team showing up. Like, we don't do that here. Like every now and then, we'll throw like a little friendly jab when teams have to play against one another. But other than that, nah, we cool here. Hi, Timothy, Who Dat Nation, SOTS family. What's going on, Kathleen? Thank you for being here. Once again, this is a rapid fire show, so we're about to end this in probably the next couple of minutes. Probably I'm going to take maybe like 2 or 3 more questions or comments, and then we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. This was a Saints podcast. And for those that just tuned in, rolled up, this is going to be a show. We're going to start having shows similar to this. Probably, every, I don't want to say once a week, but we probably going to have these pop-up shows where, we just do rapid fire, come in with your questions, your comments, and we'll go from there. Kathleen gives a special shout out to Jerry. Hey, TJ, since Katrina been in, since Kamara been in the league, he's never had a 1,000-yard rushing. Understand he's a versatile back, but is this the year he gets it? I think he does. I think this is the year. But you also have to ask, what have, the Saints been asking him to do? They've been asking him to catch the ball out of backfield, run in between the tackles, and he also has shared the backfield the majority of the time with someone else. So they got to get their touches too. TJ, big question. How are you copping NCAA? If so, who are you looking forward to running with the most? Look, man, I'm being biased right now because, this team I cover, but I'm looking forward to playing with Coastal Carolina. Seriously, when you think about like getting opportunities like to meet these guys and see them and, like see their personality and stuff like that, you gotta, I want to roll with Coastal, man. But of course, I'm always going to, have LSU on there. I got a rep for that. Wish they had some HBCUs. I'm going to just wait for Team Builder to come out for somebody to create Jackson State so I can go ahead and win that national championship with my alma mater. Y'all know how it go, man. TJ, I've been MIA lately. Can I get a recap over the past podcast? I'm going to be honest with you. Your boy been MIA too. Business been slow. It's been slow moving. Let's see. Of course, we know about the offensive line of the New Orleans Saints. We talked about that. Last episode, we talked about who would be an effective offensive weapon for the Saints under Clint Kapp. The Gumboot Sports podcast is out right now, and I'm asking everybody to subscribe to that. So, that other than that, it's been pretty slow. Everybody's kind of waiting for training camp to kind of perk up a little bit, So right now, it's just basically like people are just creating content, like who's going to do what they stat line going to look like. And, shouts out to all those content creators out here, because around this time, my goodness, it's slow motion. It's like slow motion with the news. That's when your creativity really comes out. But on the Gumboot Sports podcast, like we talked about contracts. We talked about, the Cowboys, they probably about to fall apart. Because you got three players that's got to get max deals. You got Dak Prescott that's going to set the market. Michael Parsons going to set the market. CeeDee Lamb going to set the market. Then you got Tua Tagovailoa. He has to get paid. And how much should he get paid? You look at Trevor Lawrence, who ain't never won nothing, won a playoff game. He got broke off. And, of course, we talked about the hot seat. What coaches on a hot seat? I'll go ahead and let some of y'all know one of those coaches that I named was Dennis Allen. All right, just go ahead and let that be known right now. But, yeah, in this time, it's like really, really slow news, right? This time is really, really slow, so you got to try to, find stuff to talk about. So ain't really too many shows. Ain't too many shows been going on, like y'all know me. I'm passion driven. Like I'm not going to just sit behind a microphone and just, and blow smoke up y'all behind, because I'm just sitting up here, and I'm not saying everybody else does that, but that's just me. I can't do it, right? If I'm not motivated to do a show, I don't care what the heck going on. I'm not going to do it until I can give y'all the energy and the passion that, I come with every single episode. If I don't do that, then, why am I doing this at all? Because it looks like we all been MIA. Yeah. I don't want to say so much me being MIA. I just been, it's much easier to talk about sports and a whole plethora of different things that are going on. Like Gumbootsports.com. I write articles, right? I started my own sports publication, Gumbootsports.com. So y'all can check that out. So I've been writing articles about different things going on in NFL, Sun Belt, the conference where Coastal is. I focus on that. Of course, I got Saints news up there and all the teams in the state of South Carolina where I live. So that's been going on, so I've been really writing, GumblePieSports.com. You can check it out. Tell me what you all think. Make sure that you all check it out. It's free. I'm not looking for like pay. I ain't trying to put up no paywalls or anything like that. I just like writing and giving you all information about different things that is going on. I mean, I know a lot of you heard about that lawsuit with the NFL Sunday ticket, and the NFL had to settle it out in court for $14 billion. My goodness. I've been MIA on a beach and man said he been in Mexico. My goodness. I ain't mad at you, man. I ain't mad at you. That's a great thing right there. Being able to go abroad. And, I've been doing some traveling too. Like I said, I just got back from Mississippi. I was out there visiting my family. Of course, my aunt passed away. And I plan on doing a little bit more traveling pretty soon. Like I said, I want to go to football games. I'm definitely going to go to quite a few Saints games in New Orleans this season. That's the goal. But I want to say thank you all for checking out this episode of the Rapid Fire edition of the State of the Saints podcast. Once again, if you have not already, please subscribe to the Gumboot Sports podcast. I'm asking everybody, look at the first episode, leave a comment, tell me what you all think. I'm open to suggestions, anything. I just want to make sure that everybody checks it out. I put a lot of dedication into what I'm doing. Just trying to branch out. Not that I'm trying to get away from, doing this, because this is what I love and I'm going to continue to do it. But I just want to make sure that, I just feed all of, my passions. I love football in general. So definitely just doing something a little bit different. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you support. Previous episodes are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM. You can follow me on X at TJAYJones8. And once again, I'll have another episode out this week. We're probably going to have another rapid fire episode, probably going to be on Friday. So be on the lookout for that on a State of Saints podcast, rapid fire edition. And once again, make sure that you all are leaving those comments. You never know when your boy might drop a little present on you, so make sure that you're being interactive and make sure you're supporting the show. Till next time, all I got to say is, who dat?
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast.
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. There's all dog around this mug. I'm good.